Well, hello, and thanks for joining me. I'm Lori Smith of daveandlorismith.com, and I wanted to ask you a quick question. Has your upline ever told you you're wasting your time with social media? If so, I'll be right back with you. Okay, so have you ever tried a marketing strategy through growing your home business through social media? Well, I do know that I was told early on in my network marketing career that using social media was a waste of time. But as I grew to build my business, and which I always grew offline, I know how to grow my business offline. I know how to grow with warm market, cold market, lukewarm market offline. But when Facebook announced that they had over 1.5 billion people hit Facebook in one day, that should be an aha moment for a lot of people, right? I mean, that's where a lot of people are spending their time. That's where they're looking for things. They're looking for solutions. They're looking to meet people. Well, so why not use it as a marketing strategy for your business? Now, I am a firm believer in the old school, if you want to call it that, in talking to your warm market, talking to your family, your friends, and people that your neighbors, your doctor, your hairdresser, people like that. I'm a huge advocate of doing that first, but there is nothing wrong with implementing a social media marketing strategy for your business. It's just another way to get to know people and to find people who may be interested in your business, right? So, what does that look like? Well, first of all, when you're on social media, the last thing you want to do is plaster your links all over the place. Send a link here, send a link there. Hey, check out my business, that kind of thing. That's not what we want to do on social media. What you want to do on social media is get to know somebody there, right? So, find groups that you have in common, something in common with. Find people that you have something in common with. Find intelligent comments that people have made that you can either like and then reply to and strike up a conversation, right? So I've given you some tips and tricks here of what that looks like. I've given you 3 messages that I learned from a coach of mine that will help you to market on social media. And those 3 messages are 3 simple goals. And the first goal would be to strike up a conversation, right? Using information that you found out about them, something you have in common, hobbies that you may like. Maybe you live in the same area, or maybe you have lived in the same area, right? Strike up that conversation and get to know somebody that way. But I would also, before I strike up the conversation, is go to their Facebook page, see what you can learn about them. And what they do, what they currently do, where they live, what their hobbies are, if they're married, if they have, how big their family is, and all that kind of fun stuff that we get to know about people on Facebook, right? Strike up that conversation with something that you have in common, and get them to interact with you. And I think that's the number one message that you want to send out, right? It's just something that you can reply to, a comment that they have previously made somewhere in a group. Something that you have in common with them to strike up that conversation. So your second message, in response to the first one, and only if they have replied to your first one, is to find out if they're open to an opportunity, right? Open to taking a look at a side project. So it's simply, hey, would you be open to looking at a side income project if it didn't currently affect what you're doing right now? And wait for that response, right? Once they respond to that, number 3 would be schedule that appointment. A lot of people at this point will say, hey, what is it? The last thing you want to do is get into what is it. And I like how my coach says it, is, hey, it'd be like trying to give you a haircut over the phone. So, I'd rather do it in a professional way. And so let me know a couple of days that you may have to connect this week. that sort of thing, and get off of the conversation of sending them a link or giving them information that you're just talking about, because the less you say, the more you'll make. And and get that date set, and get their phone number, get the information you need, and always reaffirm before you get off the phone um, what that date looks like, what their phone number is, and let them know that you're going to be calling them, and hope that they're as punctual as that you're assuming they're punctual with their appointments, and that they'll be there on, when you contact them. That's probably one of the biggest things you want to make sure is they understand that you're being serious about this appointment, right? Um, and just remember to convey, it's, if they say, what is this, something visual. I'd rather show you than tell it to you, so that you can have all the information and be well informed about it to make that decision, that sort of thing. And it's pretty simple. It's really about just starting and connecting with people and learning what works for you. So I hope these tips and tricks worked for you. Go ahead and make them your own, and make sure that you share with us your results, because we'd like to know what works for you, and the type of success you're having. And don't forget to connect with Dave and Lori Smith on Facebook, and we'll see you soon. Ciao for now.